So we have a favorite family vacation that is at a lake a few hours from our home. And one of our favorite opportunities and the activities that we like to do when we're there is kayaking a bit early in the morning when there's nobody else on the lake. And I remember going out, I woke up one morning and I went up on my kayak and I paddled out by myself. And I sat there looking around at the beautiful scenery around me, the mountains, the trees. It was my favorite place to be. And as I sat there, I began to think about everything that was happening in my life at the time. And I had a lot on my mind. I was worried about friend drama, of not sure where I was fitting in quite right there. I was worried about COVID-19 and how it was going to affect my schooling and my senior year of high school, and just feeling disconnected from people around me because of things like quarantine and going into a weird summer. And as I sat there worried about all of these feelings, I began to feel hopeless and began to feel lost. And it got to the point that I was sitting there on my kayak and I was crying, and I was just feeling so dark. I felt no light in me anymore. And so at that moment, I decided I needed to pray, and I just turned, and it wasn't anything big, it wasn't some big grand gesture, it was just that I need this to not be my pain anymore. I need this to be taken away. I can't do it. Immediately then, I felt peace, that everything was going to be okay. My problems weren't solved immediately. Sometimes I still had to go through hard things with it. But I began to feel peace, that I wasn't alone in it, that I had someone that was aware of me and my struggles, and that I wouldn't have to do it alone, that I felt peace and hope that I hadn't been feeling at the time. And I knew that when I took the time to look around me and to slow down, as I was looking around also with the lake and the things around me, everything slowed down, and that's when I felt my peace, is that I could find the moments of peace and of hope and of light that I couldn't find otherwise when I was worried about everything in my life. So when I realized that when I slow down in my life and I look around for the beauty around me, that I can find that peace and I can find that hope that is with my Savior and with our Father in heaven. I would tell someone that doesn't know or doesn't feel like there's a God to look around them at the little things in their life, whether it's the smile from someone in a grocery store or a text from a friend just checking in, and that's where you can find God. I think that sometimes we look for those big, grand aha moments of I'm aware of you, but at least in my experience, I've noticed that God is there in all the details, that He works through tender mercies in our lives, and He gives us light in those little moments. And then when you look at all of these little moments of light, you have a grand beam that is stronger than any darkness that comes from this world, because light comes from our God.